Hi, Steve Bolden here, adjunct professor in negotiation, deal lawyer, and all-around good guy. Want to talk to you today about something that's in the news that is just really ridiculous. And I hate to be talking about it, but it is what is happening right now. I host a show called Ask a Deal Lawyer and Executive Coach, also the Boss Negotiator School. In both, we talk about negotiation, coaching issues, and also how they may clash with cultural issues with people of color and things of that nature. Well, we just did a show last week where we talked about blackface, and we've talked about other social issues dealing with race where it impacts folks of color who are in the business realm, who are involved with negotiations, and who are just trying to make a better way for themselves. Well, we've had a major setback. As you may have heard, Jussie Smollett, on January 29th, he was allegedly attacked. He was going for a Subway sandwich at 2 a.m. On his way home, he was attacked by two individuals who apparently were wearing Make America Great Again hats and chanted that, and also chanted all kinds of homophobic slurs. He allegedly had a noose put around his head, his neck, that is, and somehow was able to escape, but first got assaulted and then made it back home. He later on called the police 45 to 50 minutes later, at the time that he was attacked, he was on the phone with a friend. It caused a major uproar. Can you imagine African American man, Jussie Smollett, Jamal on Empire, being attacked for being black and being attacked for being gay? It caused a major uproar. There were many who came out, to their credit, immediately supporting Jussie Smollett. There's a whole list of Taraji Henson, Cory Booker, Nancy Pelosi, President Donald Trump. Lots and lots of people, his colleagues, came out to his defense. The LGBTQ community, the African American community. Everyone thought this was a terrible, terrible assault on someone who should not have been attacked just because they had black pigmentation or of their sexual preference. Now, I will tell you, when I first heard it, I thought the story was strange right from the get-go. And I am one who does speak out on some of these issues from time to time, especially where there's police brutality or there's just overt racism. And it's just, we all have to have a voice and we have a platform. We need to speak out on it. I didn't immediately speak out on this one because, let me tell you something, right from the beginning, I thought it was a little strange. I don't understand why someone would be going for a Subway sandwich at 2 a.m. on arguably one of the coldest days in America. January 29th, that's when that huge Arctic front or whatever that came from was pushing through, and temperatures were dropping below zero, 20 below zero. People were being advised to keep their mouths shut so they wouldn't freeze or cause all kinds of harm to themselves and everything. And so on that night, someone decided, and everybody has a right to go get them a Subway sandwich, whatever time of night it is and everything, but it was 2 a.m. And if I'm going to assault somebody, and I've lived in very frigid temperatures, I'm not going to do it when it's really, really cold. And so it was freezing cold that night. And so it just seemed a little bit strange. Add on to it that when asked by the Chicago police, his phone wasn't turned over immediately. And then just slowly but surely, we started hearing various different leaks from the police, from other media outlets that started chipping away at the story. So what you may or may not know, the police found surveillance video and immediately were able to identify two individuals who were around at the time of the attack. And they were also able to find that they drove away, got into another vehicle, and then also left the country. So now information is coming out that these two individuals were friends. In fact, they are cast members of Empire. One of them is very good friends, apparently, with Jussie Smollett, a fitness instructor for him, in addition to being on the cast. These two individuals who left to Nigeria, when they came back to Chicago, police were waiting for them. They were picked up by the police and taken straight to the station. Through a session of interrogation, and let me tell you something about this interrogation stuff and everything. Like, if you're doing something dirty or whatever, and I hope none of you are doing that, but the people, when they're interrogated, they start giving stuff up. Tekashi 69, there's a lot of people talking about that. But in any event, these guys gave up the information, and this is what they told the police, or this is what allegedly has been told to the police. They said that Jussie Smollett asked them to take part in this fabrication where they would get paid $4,000, $3,500 up front, $500 when they came back, to put on this particular show, basically. So they actually rehearsed it, allegedly, and were told to just perform. When police went into these two individuals and their Nigerian gentlemen, and remember, in the initial story, it was two alleged white gentlemen who were, Make America Great Again folks and everything. And so now we got two Nigerians but in any event, these two Nigerians were involved, apparently, in this alleged attack. When Jussie was contacted by the police, when they had them in custody, the police asked Jussie if he wanted to press charges against him. Now, this is probably, if this turns out that this is all a fake and everything else, but this is probably the first step that Jussie did that was right. He said he did not want to press charges against these gentlemen because they were his friends. Little did Jussie know that these guys completely flipped on Jussie. So now we have a situation where it has now been released that there is going to be a grand jury impaneled to investigate this matter and maybe to decide upon whether or not charges should be brought. My understanding, I'm a Texas lawyer, but in Chicago, in Illinois, making a false police report could result in a 3-year term in jail. This is a very serious matter for Jussie. Jussie could end up in jail behind all of this. The motives are unclear. Why did he do this? Nobody really knows. There are allegations saying that Jussie may have believed that he was going to be eliminated from the Empire show. I love Empire. Love Empire. Now, if Jussie concocted this story in order to preserve his role on Empire, he needs to be killed off Empire. But more important than that, and how sick that could possibly be, is the impact on the Black community and the LGBTQ community. See, for hundreds of years and longer than that, these respective communities have suffered all types of abuse. And each time we bring up some type of alleged abuse, we're immediately as victims, trying to play the victim card, the race card, whatever it may be. And so there are lots of people in this struggle who are fighting very hard to make sure that we don't suffer these types of abuses, these types of just unwarranted, this racism or whatever it may be, or homophobia or whatever. And to have Jussie to utilize this whole movement and try to benefit himself, if this is what has happened, is sickening. It is extremely selfish. I can't understand completely the motive. It screams of mental health issues, or all kinds of other things, and it's just absolutely terrible. Think about some of the people who've come out in support of him: Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, President Donald Trump, who incidentally has already came out today and has made it clear that this is terrible. He flipped pretty quickly and everything, but let me tell you something. If you've ever been falsely accused of something, or been falsely accused or being associated with something that's horrible, and then it turns out the truth comes to light, first of all, there's vindication, but also you're upset because somebody tried to wrongly accuse you of something, and it's terrible. And so to those who came out with the benefit of doubt in his support, I applaud you, because you did something that was really important in showing support for your friend, for the movement, and those kinds of things. But on the flip side, I think all of us, when we see something like this, we have to speak out, because the first thing people are going to be saying, and not that we need to be worried about this necessarily, but it's a concern, is that, oh, now that possibly this truth came out and it was all a fabrication, where were the Al Sharptons and the, go on down the list? Why did they come out and criticize Jussie for this? And I imagine that's going to happen, and I would encourage that happen. And I'm in any way advocating trying to put a boot on the neck of somebody who's down. But none of us are bigger than these various movements for equality and for justice. And if Jussie decided to try to sabotage and take this movement into his own benefit and concoct a story that was just trying to save himself, shame on you, Jussie. Shame on you. Now, I know we all make mistakes, and in light of that, I would encourage Jussie, if in fact that is what has happened, and you made this story up, please fess up. Please just come out and just let people know, hey, this is what I did. I made a mistake. I am sorry. This was a terrible thing to do. I know it has set back various movements and has hurt the authenticity of those who fight very hard every day to ensure that people are not abused or taken advantage of, or we can go on and on and on. So I encourage Jussie, if this is the case, that you do that. And for those who came out in support of him, he may need some encouragement and support now to come out and fess up. And he's going to need a support network to help him through this, because this is shameful. It is so, so shameful. I don't even know what to say if, in fact, he made this up. But we all make mistakes. I would encourage you that if you have comments about this, or you want to discuss this further, turn your comments. And I think this is something that is valid for discussion, that we should all talk about. I also want to encourage you, if you don't already subscribe to my Facebook group, the Boss Negotiator School, please join the Boss Negotiator School. We talk about these type of issues all the time. Also, we Wednesday live on the Ask a Deal Lawyer and Executive Coach, where we talk about negotiation, coaching issues, goal setting, and all in light of how race and culture and gender issues may come into the fold with respect to that. And I would encourage you to watch that. And then most importantly, since this is on YouTube, I would encourage you to subscribe, to like, and to tell your friends about us. I really, really am sorry that this is the conversation of the day, but it is a conversation that has to be had. And so again, let me know what you think. I thank you for watching, and just we all need to be in prayer for Jussie. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Bye-bye.